Welcome to Rock the Life, a podcast for fans by fans. I'm Katya.
And I'm Amy. As we get today's show started for you, I need to remind you, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening on a podcast streaming service, don't forget to rate us, leave a comment or a review. That really helps kind of get the podcast out there. We are having such a good time, and we're really getting a great response from the people who do get to see us, that we'd love to have more people be able to check out the show. So, Katya, who are we talking about today?
Well, if your shirt is any indication of who it is, today we are talking about some amazing fan experiences from Bon Jovi. Like one of the penultimate rock bands that we have. Our guest is Bregetta. Bregetta and I work together in Germany. So we are calling Bregetta all the way to Germany for this episode. So wow. I'm excited to have our rock fandom start stretching across the globe even more. So with that,
so much.
Let's go. Hello. Hi, Bregetta. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am doing good. I am just feeling a little left out at this moment because you're both wearing your Bon Jovi shirts and I am not. Those are great.
This one is from the New Jersey. This one's 1989. It has the date on the back. So I'm like, I can't believe obviously at that time I bought it oversized, thankfully, but I was like, it fits. Look at that. Right on.
Love it. Okay, well, Bregetta, I'm going to ask you, take me back. When did the love for Bon Jovi start?
Well, the deep, deep love, let's say it, because the love for hair bands of all genres, of all kinds, including Bon Jovi, was there as of end of the 80s, 90s. But the close-up and personal time started in 2006. A little late, I know. I wasn't there in the early years. So 2006 was my first show that I had tickets to here in Germany. And I entered a contest and won on-stage tickets. So I was freaking the whole drive there. When you got there, they explained, it's going to be for 3 songs. You're going to get you guys on stage. You're going to be there for 3 songs and then the next group. So they had several groups. We were in the first group, so mega excited, of course. And got ushered up Richie's side. Which was cool because you had a straight shot to see John. Mm-hmm. So that was super, super exciting.
Okay, let me ask you a few questions on that. What city were you in?
Oh, this was in, it was the North, Hessisch-Lichtenau, it was called. Or okay. It is called, it's a very northern part of Hessen. And I don't know, while you were here in Germany, did you ever hear something called the Hessentag?
Yes.
And that is something that this state, it's one of the states of Germany, does every year. So they always choose a different city in the state. And that year it was Hessisch-Lichtenau, and that year it was Bon Jovi. And the opener for Bon Jovi was Nickelback.
Oh, wow. All right. Okay, that's exciting.
So it was the time when Nickelback was
really
coming up out of the woodwork.
Mm-hmm. With the on-stage experience, could you take pictures?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
It was kind of a fight because it was kind of a very small area that they had. It was like maybe 4 or 5 people next to each other and then kind of to the back. So it was a fight to get into the front of this area. I got pictures, but I didn't have the best of cameras back then. But I got a couple of pictures of John Bon Jovi's famous duck lips. He always likes to do the duck lips. Mm-hmm. And very close up and personal pictures of Richie because he was like right there, standing right there.
Awesome.
Now, was that your first Bon Jovi show?
It actually was.
Wow.
I mean, I had the love for the music the whole time. But I have to say I was focused on another band that I was totally gaga for at the time in the late 80s, 90s. And then I also went back to college, so money wasn't that big. Mm-hmm. So
no, absolutely.
In the 90s, I really didn't go to shows.
What was the next show after that?
After that, it went like in a regular rhythm. Let's say 2008, they came to Frankfurt, so I saw them in Frankfurt. But then I flew to Atlanta because then my excursions started around the globe. I flew to Atlanta, and it also was a 2-4 because Daughtry opened up for Bon Jovi.
Nice.
So that for me was a pretty package. I have to see. And after that, that's when the really big experiences.
Okay, so first, why did you pick Atlanta?
I picked Atlanta because it's an airport you can get anywhere to in the U.S., so it's a good starting
It's a hub.
point.
Yep.
There's a direct flight from Frankfurt. And then after that, I actually flew to Florida to visit friends. So the connection, it was just basically connection. And there's a Bon Jovi show. And there's Coca-Cola. And there's the aquarium. So
yep.
I've done both those things in Atlanta too.
Same.
So at that point, or when did you join the fan club?
After 2008. After the Atlanta experience, because in Atlanta is the first time that I heard of a thing called club-side seating.
What is it?
Club-side seating in Atlanta meant that you had your own bar, you had your own merchandise, you didn't have to fight all of the people from the normal seating or from the inside, the lower level. You were closed off in your own little area. And I was like, I like this. And after that, I joined the fan club because I just loved that so much.
And then what did you do? Which shows did you go to once you joined the fan club?
Once I joined the fan club, my first show was Las Vegas. So go big or go home, right?
Right.
So it was at the MGM.
Okay. I was going to say Hard Rock, but okay, MGM.
No, it was at the MGM. And that's also the first time that ever since joining the fan club, I was able to meet some of the people because, we're chatting with them online. Back then you had these chat rooms in the fan club, and it was so nice. We all met at the Hard Rock Cafe on the Strip, and it was such an experience to meet everybody. And the MGM, I didn't stay at the MGM. I wish I would have because they had actually made the key cards. They had the logo of Bon Jovi on.
That's cool.
I got one. One of my friends that stayed there, she gave me one. She sneaked one. She said, "Oh, I lost my key," and she got another one. So
That's awesome.
really cool. That was really cool.
So and were these big shows back then?
Yeah. This was a big show. I can't remember who opened for the band, but it was all of the shows I know were sold out. Every single show was sold out.
I'm sure.
It was totally a great experience, I have to say.
That's awesome.
Now, was Vegas through the fan club, or was that one of your own excursions?
No, that was through here's the thing. Through the fan club, there's many ways that you could go. You could just purchase tickets, which is you get first dibs, which I did in this case because I had a friend who flew with me. So I got 2 tickets. So you got the better seats for not as much money versus spending a lot of money and being all the way in the back. So that was, you could get regular tickets. Then you could get package tickets, what they do nowadays too with the VIP, and you get merchandise and blah, blah, blah. And then they also have special tickets, either with a trip that they do, where they have their own little travel agency, which they call Runaway Tours, which is, I think, a great name. And so they have a whole package with that. And then they also have something, which we'll get to later, but they also have something in the fan club that is only for fan club members that you can only purchase if you're a fan club member. And that is a thing called a backstage tour. So you get to see the backstage before the band is there, of course. They're not going to let you back there once the band is there.
Well, I know you had one of those experiences, but lead us up to after Vegas, some of the other trips you went on or tours you saw with them.
So after Vegas and after meeting fan club members and them also talking about trips that had happened before, I was like, I want to go on a trip. I want to have this experience of a runaway trip, right? 2010 off to London we went.
Tell us about the London trip. What
The
was
London
special
trip.
about that with the tour?
Well, the London runaway trip, it was special in the sense that you don't just get, concert and the hotel and a party, but in this trip we also got a high tea with a question and answer session with John Bon Jovi.
That's awesome. How
And
crowded
also
was that?
that was, I would say, it's usually 200 to 300 people that they had on these trips.
Not too bad.
So somewhere in that, but it was really nice, set up in a ballroom of one of these really fancy hotels in London. And we were ushered in. We had our high tea and everything, and then all of a sudden, you hear, commotion outside, and in he comes, and did a really nice question and answer session. The fans
Did you ask a question?
I knew I didn't know.
Okay.
No, but the fans had really good questions. Like some were aspiring singer-songwriters and they wanted to know how he writes songs or what was his, favorite song or how long does it take him to write a song. Then he went into like talking about some of the experiences on stage. They have this one fan and she must have been there from day one because he knows her by heart. She was also at this event. And he was talking about that they were trying out something different in a song on stage. And she was in the audience. And he saw her, lower her head like over, like, oh, like this, like, oh God. And he freaked on stage. He was like, oh my God, is this not good? Am I doing something wrong?
Wow.
It was really, really fun watching him, hearing him. It was an experience.
That's awesome.
Totally.
It was and that also went on with the concert afterwards. So that's before the concert.
This was it? It might have been on a separate day because these runaway trips are not just one day. It's usually you arrive one day, then you have a party in the evening, like a JVJ fan club party thing. Then the next day you either have a concert or you have your event, whatever it is,
Okay.
picture taking. And then on the last day you travel on. So they give you time. They give you ample time to enjoy the experience.
Oh, and to be in London. Like that's exciting. That's
And
like, yeah,
London.
that's a treat in itself. After London, what happened?
After London, back to London because there was the Hard Rock Calling in Hyde Park. This was 2011. This was their anniversary. It was 40 years Hard Rock because they were founded in 1971. So it was the 40-year anniversary of Hard Rock. So they had Bon Jovi there. And for this, they really outdid themselves. We had our own fan club lanes to get on to Hyde Park.
Wow.
Separate for the fan. That was really amazing. How much and this is 2011. This isn't, like the 90s or something. This is, well in their career that we had our own lanes. That was really fascinating. We had our own little wristbands and stuff to go into separate lanes to get in because Hyde Park is quite large.
Huge. It's huge. Yeah.
So that was large, but that was also really, really nice. The concert. Also experiencing how they block off everything around Hyde Park. If there's ever a concert in Hyde Park, they have to block off all of the side streets for traffic when it lets out because of the masses of the people.
Like shutting down parts of London sounds crazy.
Yeah.
They actually do that for shows. They did that when we saw Def Leppard and Motley Crue in Las Vegas when they let that out. And they do it for football games too. When they let that stadium out, Allegiant Stadium, they shut down like 3 or 4 major streets because so many people are walking and going through. Yeah, that's tremendous. I can't imagine in the heart of London though.
Well, and for these experiences, they announce it, you sign up for it, and then they coordinate with you, like for the Hyde Park one, where you get your wristbands and where they'll let you in.
Yes, that's all.
Amazing.
Everything is coordinated through the fan club.
Amazing.
They had a couple of guys back then that everybody then at some point knew. It was 3 guys, if I remember right, that would always do these tours and would always do these, extra things and extra wristbands. So you knew who you were looking for, basically.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Like, I want that. First, I want that job. Okay.
I
This
was
is
gonna
like,
say, as she was saying that, that's actually what I was thinking. I was like, huh, Katya had been good at that. That's funny that you said that. I
I
was
was
like,
like, scope out the
girl.
venues, get them
Yeah.
out, talk to people. I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write them afterward.
You're in.
Okay, so tell us more. I want to hear these experiences.
Well, after this, I finally came back to Germany and did a couple of shows in Germany, actually. I did, so 2000, this is all still 2011. So I kind of went bonkers when they came on tour that I just didn't see one show. I saw like 4 or 5 shows.
As one should, yes.
As one should.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Munich, 2011. Funny story with Munich, the ambassador to Germany, the American ambassador to Germany at the time was, I forgot his first name. I think
Was it Johnson?
no,
No,
Murphy.
Murphy.
I think now governor of New Jersey still.
Okay.
Oh.
I think it's Philip Murphy. And his wife is like best friends with John Bon Jovi. They actually live next to each other in New Jersey. So he showed up at the concert. He showed up at almost every concert in Germany that Bon Jovi played. He would show up
Wow.
with his security detail, of course. So he showed up in Munich, and also a very famous German politician was with him in Germany in the concert. And I was like, okay, am I going to do this? Am I not going to do this? Because I knew who Murphy was. And at the time I worked for the consulate in Frankfurt. He didn't know me, but I was like, why not? So I walked up knowing that he had the bodyguard. So I approached the bodyguard before I approached him. And I said, I know he's Ambassador Murphy. I'd like to have a picture with him. And he's like, sure, approach him. It's all fine. So I, asked him for a picture. And I have a picture of him hugging me and Bon Jovi in the background.
Nice.
That was Munich. And after that, I was like, okay, they're coming to Mannheim, which is close to where I live. It's only like a 45-minute drive. I was like, okay, I don't have to pay the hotel. I only have to pay gas. I want to do the backstage tour.
Mm-hmm.
So and they're not cheap. Of course, none of this is cheap if you do these things, right? So I did the backstage tour. And what they do is you get onto the grounds. This was an open air concert. So you get onto the grounds before anybody else gets, not even the opening act or anybody's on the grounds yet. You get to go on the grounds and you get to tour like literally backstage area where they have all of the equipment, and then of course all of the guitars, all of the mic stands, the white mic stand, the whole crew, the supporting crew. They show you around, they explain to you, you get to walk on stage. And yeah, that was a hell of an experience. And in Mannheim, they also had included dinner with the crew, which
Very
meant
cool.
you got to eat dinner with the catering, what the crew got.
That's awesome.
Funny fact with that is, at that time, John's brother, Anthony Bon Jovi, was responsible for all of the video stuff. So he was part of the crew, and he was part of the people there, having dinner with us. I mean, everybody said we were kind of at our assigned tables and stuff, but technically you could have mingled and gone up and said hi, and I mean, nobody was going to stop you from it.
Does he look like John?
No.
I didn't think so.
Anthony and also Matt, his younger brother, they look nothing like each other, basically.
We've met Matt.
Too bad there's not 3 of them, but
Huh?
yeah, you're right. I think we've met Matt.
We've met Matt. Mm-hmm.
Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Met Matt.
John, he looks like his dad. He totally looks like his
But no, you could. Yeah, he has his own like amazingly a spectacular look to himself.
For the backstage tour, did they take you, like, one of the questions when I did VIP for Def Leppard, Katya was like, did you get to see the dressing room? And so I'm curious with your backstage tour, did they take you through all of that, or just kind of the backstage and the equipment and all the working spots, or did you get to go and see like dressing rooms and all that fun stuff?
Well, here in Mannheim, there wasn't really a dressing room. I'm thinking that the dressing room maybe was like a separate trailer in the back that they didn't take us
Okay.
to.
Ooh,
Okay.
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 They, what they did show us, though, there's a fun fact here. They did show us the little like mini dressing room John has under the stage where he kind of disappears to get
Mm-hmm.
shirt changed or something. And what they did ask us is to please not take a picture of that
Oh.
because it's very personal to
Mm-hmm.
John, that area. Very personal, very small. It's just him and whoever his assistant is at the time, like yanking off the shirt, blow drying him from the sweat and putting him another
Yep.
shirt on. Basically, that's all that happens in that area. But it's kind of also an area where he kind of focuses when he comes off to change. And
Mm-hmm.
they said it's very special and intimate to him, and they didn't want us to take any pictures of it.
Fair enough.
That's
Fair enough to have
awesome.
something
Yeah.
special that
Yeah.
you get to see that other people don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's
So
awesome.
that's kind of, we didn't see the dressing room, but we saw that.
That's
They
cool.
did show that.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Any others in Germany that year, 2011?
Oh, yeah. I didn't stop in Mannheim.
Whole country. There's a whole country.
So Dusseldorf, I went there with two friends. We stayed at a hotel, and we then by chance found out where the man was staying because the photographer, David Bergman, blabbed on Twitter. So we the three of us looked at each other and said, are you going to do this?
Oh, yes, we are.
Yep.
Night before the concert.
Yep.
We're like, yeah, why not? So we went to the hotel, and this was like a 5-star fancy, very fancy hotel. And we drove up in this banged up old, Ford Fiesta, I think it was, and then parked next to Ferraris and Bentleys and whatever. But it's all good. I mean, they treat everybody the same. They don't. They didn't look down on us. They didn't. I don't think we seemed like fans because we were like just normals. Like, yeah, we're here for the bar. We want to have a drink in the bar. And we heard so much about this hotel. We just want to have a drink in the bar. Getting to the bar full of fans because at this point you know people, right?
Yeah.
You know faces. You might not know names, but you know faces. So it was packed with Bon Jovi fans. Band nowhere in sight. So we were like, yeah, maybe we'll, go downstairs and have a bite to eat. Went downstairs, and who's sitting there having a salad? Tico. So we kind of had to kind of keep the squeaking and the inner to ourselves because we didn't want to impose on him. He was just sitting there in peace and quiet having a salad. So we then had the most expensive salad we ever had in our life. This hotel was so expensive.
And the water.
Yeah. Can I have the water? So, but we did that, and we went back upstairs into the bar area, saw more fans piling up, still band nowhere to be seen. And then, I mean, you can hear I'm American, so if I'm, here in Germany in a bar and I start talking, I hear other Americans and they hear me talking, and they come over, and these were people that were working for Starbucks.
Oh.
Two guys, and they had no clue that Bon Jovi was in the hotel. I was like, oh my God, how
Oh,
could
they
you?
just heard that. Okay.
Yes, they were there for work, basically. So I started talking to them, and they were buying me, I was drinking champagne because, you only live once. So they started buying me drinks, and all of a sudden I noticed that my two friends are gone. I was like, what is going, where did they go? I need to go and check on my friends. And I walk outside. Of course, the whole band all of a sudden sitting outside. My two friends, the table next to the band, nobody told me. I was being ambushed by these two Americans from Starbucks. And I was like,
The
oh, great.
barristers.
Thanks for telling me. So,
Oh man.
yeah, we also just, admired from afar. We didn't approach them. At some point, the two girls were like, we need to go home because we have a show tomorrow. So walking by the band, I see David giving me like the, who are you and why are you here look. And then we walked up, but they were all singing. I mean, John, everybody was singing. It was,
You didn't like fist bump, high five? No, nothing? No. Okay.
none of the fans that were there did that because I think it really was just, you knew it was their private time and
Yeah.
you were just to be near them, seeing them not on stage.
Their
That was
aura.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was really enough. And then again, in the inner circle, who shows up? Ambassador Murphy. Of course, in all of these concerts, all of what I've just talked about, all of the, after joining the fan club, we're up close and personal. We're not in the back. We're like in the front circle. So at some point, standing on David's side. At some point, I see him doing like, I've seen that girl before. Kind of look, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to go hide.
I love it. He's like, I know you. Yeah.
He gave me that. He's kind of like that, where they do the head nod. I'm like, I've seen him before. So that was a fun experience, I have to say, totally. But that was it for 2011.
Okay. Of all the shows that you saw in 2011, which one was your favorite or holds some best memories?
The Munich one was cool because they also, when the band came into the Olympic Stadium, which is huge, they actually drove into the stadium and they showed us on the screens how the band was driving on into the stadium and getting out and then getting out of the cars onto stage. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. I have to say, I really liked the Munich. Loved the Mannheim backstage tour experience.
That sounds incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Those two probably out of 2011, probably the best.
And I know your experiences didn't end there.
Nope. So 2013, the band was on tour again. So was I.
Yeah, so Bregetta went on tour.
2013, I had 3 shows.
Okay.
So one, we went to Berlin into the Waldbühne. And guess who was still the ambassador?
He's like, I'm not leaving while they're on tour.
Well, actually, this was a tricky one because there was another famous person coming to Berlin at the same time. It was actually President Barack Obama.
I was going to say that. I was like, who else is more popular than? It was, Obama.
So the city was packed because of the fans, and it was on top of it packed because of the presidential visit. So, we had normal front tickets, but one of my colleagues at the time, her husband was the second in line after the ambassador. And I met her at the show with her husband. She then also took the opportunity, which for me was amazing, to actually introduce me to the ambassador and his wife. And then I looked on stage and I could see John like going like, what's going on over there?
Can I just ask real quick, was that Joanna by chance?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It makes my heart just like even, yeah.
So that was for me a total great experience in so many ways.
So many.
But also to see that John on stage was noticing that this was happening was like, oh.
You're like, Bregetta's in the house.
So that was cool.
Awesome.
And after that, we went to Cologne. And I always say we because it was always either one friend of mine that I did most of the shows with here in Europe, or another friend from Holland that joined. So we were either 2 or 3. So, and in Cologne, it was the 3 of us again. Actually 4, one from England joined. So, and that's the other thing in the fan club. It connected the people worldwide that would have never gotten to know each other if it weren't for
Yeah.
that. It
Yeah.
really connected a lot of people. So, and in Cologne, I again had to do the backstage tour because I wanted to do it again. So my friends didn't, but that's fine. You know, they just said we'll hang out and we'll wait for you until you come back from your backstage tour. Um, and this time there was no dinner, so it was always different. You never knew. I
Okay.
guess you always had to adapt to what was
Mm-hmm.
possible at the venue or in the timeline. So but again, we got to go backstage. We got to see all the guitars, the mic stand, and then this time around, one of the band members actually showed up. It was Bobby Bandiera,
Mm.
who was one of the supporting guitar players at the time. I think probably now that would be John Shanks, who's
Okay.
doing that right now. So he showed up and he, you know, everybody was like squeaking and screaming, and he was very nice, taking pictures, saying hi, just you know, small talk, and so that was also a
That
cool
makes a nice
experience.
experience.
Not as cool as the other backstage experience, but again, something special that only fan club members get, and you get special merchandise and special
Mm-hmm.
things. So that was really cool. And then we work our way up to the best experience ever because we now get around to where they included pictures
Oh,
in these runaway trips. So you could get a picture with John, and I was like, I gotta.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
please.
Yep.
So very expensive. So I was like, okay, I can't do it in the States. It would just outweigh really, you know, it would just be too much with the flight. But then they offered it in London.
London.
London again, sign me up. So I signed up for the trip to get a picture with John. And again, it's the whole package that they
Right.
sell. You know, they sell the hotel. It's always a minimum 4-star hotel they put you up in. We had a pre-party again where the bar is, you know, only for fan club members. They play Bon Jovi music the whole night long. We got, I think, 2 or 3 free drinks before you have to then, you know, pay yourself. But still, I mean, this is again 250 roughly people, right?
But how fun.
Yeah.
And again, you meet people that you never would have met otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then here, I think the picture was the day before the concert again because they never do it on the same day. They
Okay.
always have it separated. So one of my friends that I always did the Germany shows with, she also came to London, but we had to do it separate because I had the trip booked. She didn't have the trip booked, right? But she was like, okay, I'll help you. You know, let's see what you're gonna wear. Like, do your hair and do your makeup and all of that. Get
That's
you all
so
dolled up.
fun.
So we were waiting in line. It was like a line of roughly 250 people waiting to get their picture taken with John. And you were in this line, but you could hear from the screams when he actually entered. You're like, okay, he's here. And
The
again,
squeaks.
and as soon as you got closer where you could watch him taking photos with others, you're like, he's really there. And yeah, and that was my time. And I think I was pretty, like shell shocked, like, starstruck. And, I said hi, and he said hi. And you just don't really know what to do.
Yeah, this is finally. Oh,
And you have all of these lights because they light it out so he looks
Mm-hmm.
good.
yeah,
So
it's like the right side. Yeah.
the lights, and then the guy that does the Runaway Tours, his name is Rob. He also always did the pictures, but you also had David Bergman standing there also taking pictures. So you're like, oh, I hope I look good, but they always took 2 or 3 pictures, so they were nice about that. And then, I turned around and I was like, oh God, this is Bon Jovi. And I feel him grabbing my shoulder because he could see and feel how tense I was. And
Aww.
it was like, oh,
Aww.
walking. I was just,
You're like
yes.
melt. I'm just gonna melt right now. Aw,
So
that's
that
so
was my
awesome.
best experience ever with the Runaway trip, and also the concert was in Hyde Park again.
And again, Hyde Park, amazing. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question real quick. We've been talking about David Bergman. I see a picture behind you.
Yes,
Where was that? Tell me about that photo.
I can show you a smaller version close
Please
up.
do.
I don't know if that will show. So this was pre the first Runaway trip when they took over the shows that Michael Jackson was supposed to do in the O2 in
Mm.
London, and he
Oh,
then passed away. And then Bon Jovi took, I think it was 10 shows. I believe it was 10 shows. And this is actually a David Bergman picture of John and Richie, touching. And then that little hand down there, that's me.
but like, it is such a beautiful photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a
I mean,
picture.
especially now knowing what we know,
Yeah, yeah.
that's spectacular.
That was really spectacular. That was a cool run in 2010. They had Kid Rock open up. So that
Mm.
was
Oh,
pretty
that's
cool.
fun. That's kind of
Hmm.
different. That's a different type of. Okay, and since then, I'm trying to think of the tours that they've done since 2013.
They did one because I went to Dublin, but I did something before Dublin that's connected to John Bon Jovi.
What?
And that was in 2014. I went on vacation to New York with my friend that I always did all the concerts with. And she had a friend that lives in Philadelphia. And we said, well, we're coming around to New York. We're just going to do like a 5 day or six day New York, quick. We just want to see New York. And she was like, well, what about if I come down to New York, we all hop in a car and we'll drive out to Red Bank, New Jersey.
A pilgrimage.
And we were like, okay. So Red Bank, New Jersey, of course, is the home of John Bon Jovi, where he lives, and where he has, at the time, had one of his first JBJ Soul Kitchens,
Mm.
Oh,
which is the concept of if you can't pay for food in the restaurant, you can work, or another customer can pay forward for other customers. So we were like, yes, let's go. So we went on a field trip. We went to the Soul Kitchen. We knew when it opened and what time, and you just had to be there. You don't make reservations. It's like, first come, first serve kind of basis. It wasn't too full that day, so they were happy. They were like, okay, great. They had two menu choices. For the life of me, I cannot remember what the two choices were. I know it was something with chicken and something with the salad, but other than that, I really can't remember. And then we all said that we're going to pay, and we would like to pay forward for another person. So they seated a person at our table. Yeah, and then we just enjoyed the dinner and paid forward. We were kind of when we left was like, how much, what do we do, they kind of give you, they tell you what's normal to give, and if you want to give more or less, or totally up to you. Of course we bought merchandise, shirts and cups
so
and stuff.
that's
Yeah.
now. Did you also go to Saraville?
No, we only
Okay.
went to Red Bank and the Soul Kitchen.
I feel like that's like I've heard of the concept where you can like pay forward and they like hold that money for somebody, but I didn't know like I'd never heard where they actually have somebody join your table for that. So you get to while
They
you're
did.
paying for them, you get to eat with them. Like that's
No,
neat.
that is cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't I
yeah.
that takes the anonymity out of it and that's phenomenal. I think that's really cool. I
Yeah,
didn't know that part of it.
that was cool. I mean, we were all like, please let him show up, please let him show up. But of course, he didn't show up.
Right, right.
I mean, he is at the Soul Kitchen regularly.
Mhm.
Also, his wife, I think she is more the driving factor behind
So
it.
cool.
Yeah.
But that was really cool. So that was 2014, no concert. And then the last concert that I went to then was in 2019 in Dublin.
Yep.
Seen them in Dublin, also up close and personal, front row.
Oh.
It was good, but you could kind of notice that, it was
There was a little
starting
struggle.
to get.
Yeah, which is all the struggles we've heard about in the
Mhm.
documentary of Bon Jovi that comes out that really highlights, and it's a focus of all his interviews now.
That's a lot of fun. Like,
No,
can put
those
myself in your shoes.
experiences are, I mean, that's exactly what, as a fan, I want to do,
Yeah, exactly.
is to, yeah, and especially, it's like even to connect with other fans and have fun and have that connection with people to
Yeah.
go to the shows with. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
go
tell me, I understand you also have a piece of Bon Jovi.
Person that I got to know through the fan club, and got to, we always kind of exchanged notes on Facebook and stuff. And he has a friend again who has a friend who has a friend, and they had a pic from JBJ, and they were like, "Oh, we just have it laying here in a collection." He said to me.
That's
awesome.
wonderful.
And that is the same guy that then offered me these silver bracelets. Can you see them?
Yeah, I totally can.
Yes.
And actually, this one here with the stripies, if you look up the Only Lonely video, that's from back when this stuff is. You can clearly see this one with the, like, it has the mat and the let me take it out. And I have this picture behind it because that's actually where that's the time of when he was wearing them.
Okay.
So in the video, I was trying to make out this one, but it's so hard to make it out on the video. But this one, if you watch you can make it out very clearly.
Okay, yeah, I've had with the stripes. So.
You can make that out very clear.
I'd have to wear it. I'd be like, I can't keep it in a case. I have to wear it. I'd be like,
you can see it's been worn.
That's so cool. I'd be wearing that to every Bon Jovi concert I went to.
Yeah, Bregetta, thank you so much. I've had so much fun.
Right.
It was fun.
It was great meeting you.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's great doing it. Loved it. Love to do it again.
Yeah, no, I love it. Well, because I really feel that I've been missing some concerts in my life, and I need to get back to going to some and figuring out the system here and getting to some shows.
You do. Bregetta, thank you so much for coming on the show. We had such a good time hearing about your Bon Jovi story and, oh gosh, all of the adventures. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast, and I'm happy to talk on many other shows that I've been to for other artists if you want to.
Absolutely. I am ready. I'm also ready to go to some of these shows with you and have these memories.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
More than happy to have you.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Bye, Bregetta. Bye. That was so much fun. And Amy, as I am sitting here hearing her fan experiences, I'm ready to go to a show like right now, this weekend, and head out there.
I know. I'm like, let's go. It brings me back to the summer that I had with Def Leppard. It was just amazing. Multiple shows, fan experiences. And to do that with Bon Jovi, oh my gosh, so cool. So
well,
fun.
And this is just like hearing about it, like how amazing what these bands are doing for their fan experiences and just what an impact it has on people.
Yep.
Just elevates the fandom to a different level.
It's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing. So if you have a story to tell, be it Bon Jovi or other members of Bon Jovi, or anything else, that was a hint to maybe something upcoming that we have going on. But don't forget to reach out. We'd love to hear what you've got to say. You can send an email to amy.rockthelife@outlook.com. Please follow us on our socials on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. We are Rock the Life Girl. And don't forget that we also have some really fun and cool merch put together for us and designed by Wild Society Productions. And you can find all of that at rtlmerch.com. And I will also say, since we just finished Bon Jovi and we talked about It's My Life, and that line is in our opening intro, that song was also written by Wild Society Productions and is now streaming. So you can actually go to Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, and look up Rock the Life by Wild Society. And you can stream the whole
Love the
song.
song.
So fun.
Love the
So
song.
fun. Alrighty, my friend.
Okay, Aim. This was great.
It was
Okay.
so fun.
And you know what? Don't forget. Don't forget.
Rock the Life. I don't know
Rock
why
the
I laugh
life.
every single time. Every single time. All right, friend. I love you.
Okay. Bye. Love you
Bye.
too. Bye.
Bye.